Look down at your feet right now. Do they look something like this? If we had an aerial view, would it look like this? This causes problems with your alignment. What happens in the space between your hips and feet? Your knees have to bend in the same direction your toes are pointing. You walk forward and your knees face outward. That twists your knee joint. Would you drive your car if your tires were mounted like that? To save your knees and support excellent alignment, your feet must point the same direction you're walking, straight forward. The force of gravity is always exerting downward pressure on our bodies, and our dense bones are meant to help us resist that force. So why do so many of us walk with so many bends in our body? Because we spend the majority of our time in this position. In fact, when you think about it, we grow up in the shape of a chair from all the sitting required in school. Also, almost every shoe we grew up in had some sort of cushion that elevated our heel anywhere from a ½ inch to 3 inches, depending on your sense of style and how permissive your parents were. We can't maintain a straight line to resist gravity, and we end up gripping our toes, bending our knees, and tucking our tailbone for balance. This sets us up for joint pain and deterioration because we're asking our soft tissues to resist gravity instead of bone. How do we get our bones to resist gravity for us? Line them up underneath it. Straighten everything out so your ear is over your shoulder, is over your hip, is over your knee, is over your ankle. That will mean a no heel or negative heel shoe. Leave your heel on the ground behind you as long as possible with every step, and you'll stretch all the areas that are kinked when you're sitting. Swinging straight arms helps with balance, adds momentum, and massages the lymph glands in the armpits. Leaving your heel on the ground behind you as long as possible with your feet straight also causes your hips to move the way they're meant to, up and down. The hip is the biggest joint in the body, and it is designed for this. This also massages the lymph nodes in your groin. Sitting a lot creates tight holding patterns in our connective tissue that restrict our movement, and we stop moving our hips up and down, but instead twist our hips, creating twisting torque in the vertebrae of our low back. One way to interrupt the holding patterns sitting creates is to do a calf stretch over a half cylinder. Both feet should be straight, and the floor foot should scoot forward while you keep your ear lined up over your shoulder, over your hip, over your knee, over your ankle of the foot that is farthest back. Hold that for 40 seconds or longer and feel that stretch up the back of your leg. This will increase your stride length for all the healing benefits I just described.